All right, we're back at it. This is Isaiah 14:10. And they shall speak and say unto thee, Art thou become as weak as us, as we? It says, let me read that again. Isaiah 14:10. All they shall speak and say unto thee, Art thou become as weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Okay? Now, you see this prophecy coming to pass right now in the media, This is, first of all, let's backtrack a little bit, They claim that America is the greatest nation on the earth, the sole superpower of the earth, and everything like that, We dominating on everybody, or America's dominating on everybody, especially after Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the bombing of those places. But now, currently in the news and in the media, you have Kim Jong-un over in North Korea, little small area, a real small area, over here threatening, so-called threatening America, with his nuclear arsenal, So it says, all they shall speak and say unto thee, Art thou become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Basically saying, are we on an even playing field now? Because when they dropped those bombs in Japan, America basically stepped out in front of everybody else, and rose up above everybody else. But now everybody else is stepping up to that same line, like, okay, the thing that separated you from us was those nukes. Now we got nukes too, That pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows, and the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. Yeah, the pomp is brought down to the grave, like, your haughtiness, your pride, Ah, man, ain't nobody fucking with us, this and that. Well, y'all, Americans and America's so high and mighty, y'all ain't really worried about shit. Why y'all over here with all these drills and all this shit? Why is Donald Trump firing back on what is that shit? Twitter called? Yeah, Twitter. Why is he over here fighting back on Twitter? If you really not seeing that, why you even responding, That's like me arguing with somebody, somebody say, look, man, I'm going to whoop your ass, this and that. And they on the internet talking this shit. Like, you don't know me, you don't know where I'm at, you don't know how to get to me, you don't know what I'm capable of. So all you doing is you just speaking in vanity, All that shit's just for the birds, Why would I really even respond to some shit like that? Why would I stoop myself down to that same level, So basically that pomp is brought down to the grave, all that big talking shit, Now it's not that nigga on the other side of the internet talking shit saying he gonna beat my ass. It's now this person right here in my face, Now it's talking, you talking all that big shit. Now I'm right here. Now what you gonna do? Now what? Y'all got nukes, we got nukes. You gonna nuke somebody, we gonna nuke somebody. Now what? What you gonna say now, That's what these other countries are saying, It says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? Now, I understand this is a major stumbling block into these Christians and stuff, First of all, the heaven that it's talking about is not talking about the place where the Most High resides, okay? And it's not talking about the spiritual demon like Lucifer either. It's talking about, first of all, the heaven that it's talking about is the condition, okay? These Edomites is in a heaven, okay? America is in its heaven right now. Only America... Imagine what would happen if North Korea decided to bomb anybody with any small bomb. Imagine if North Korea went and started shooting up South Koreans. What would happen? America would go over and start dumping on their ass. But you see, America dropping got drone strikes everywhere, and ain't nobody really saying nothing to them. Because see, America's in their heaven, and they got everybody else in subjection. They up on top, they up in their spot. They the ones, the golden rule. He who has the gold makes the rules. Okay. So the person who got the goal, who's making the rules, is basically in heaven. America's got the goal, making all the rules, they in heaven, okay? It says, how art thou fallen from heaven? Okay, so how did you go from the one sitting here threatening all these other countries, invading all these other countries, putting sanctions on all these other countries, scaring off all these other countries, to your ass running with your tail tucked between your legs? So now you the one being threatened, and you the one, trying to defend yourself. Everybody else used to defend themselves against you. But now you having to defend yourself, okay? How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground? Yeah, see, how you cut down to the ground? How you brought down? How you get so low? How did you how are you sitting here on the defense side? How you on your defenses? How is it you over here scrambling? How are you over here gathering up how do you say, soldiers for your military, how you having to spend more and more on military budget. If you was already so far advanced, you shouldn't have to sit here. You can let these other motherfuckers, like they say, America spend more than the next top three military spenders combined. If you that far ahead and they start increasing their spending, why you even need to move if you that far ahead, you know, if you ain't really worried about shit, you know? But now they starting to scramble and they have to revitalize their nuclear programs and all this and that and make everything good and fresh again, you know? Why? Because see, their pump is being brought down to the ground. They falling from heaven, more or less to say, you know? And to clarify this Lucifer thing, it says, which did weakest the nations. Now, was it the spiritual demon Satan that was going around weakening all these nations in some kind of like spiritual way or something like that? Or was it Esau and his damn military conquest for one, that he was going around bombing all these other countries, you know, weakening their infrastructure, you know, or also giving them that damn wine, you know, giving them that strong drink, you know. Now, you know, he's pressing this LGBT community type of deal on these other nations who never had no shit like that. And now you got these people going insane, you know. You got a bunch of these, these demons that you got here in Babylon, like in Chirac and shit, running around in these other countries and shit like that, you know. It's one thing to see them over here in Babylon because this is hell, you know, but when you start seeing demons in other places, it's like, what the fuck is going on here, you know? Y'all really got some crazy shit going on over here because, you know, y'all over here, you know, how you say, more or less to say, you over here, how do I say, pollute these people's minds, more or less to say, you know? You don't have to necessarily fuck up their landmass or nothing like that, you know, in which America is, but you don't have to fuck up their landmass. You poison all their minds and stuff like that. Like America. America ain't really got fucked. America hasn't been fucked up by any outside threat or anything like that from no other country or anything like that. But look at America. Look at America right now. You know, it's being destroyed from the inside out, from the minds of the people on down, you know. The minds of these people are so weak that they over here like, oh, yeah. Bomb these folks, bomb those folks, bomb these folks, bomb those folks. We don't care, bomb every damn body, you know. They over here saying all this type of stuff because they weaken their mind. They're not realizing that there's a reaction to all of that shit. Now you wonder why everybody got you in their nuclear target sites. Now you wonder why everybody want to come over here and blow your ass up. Because you over here just kill every damn body. You know, eventually they're like, look, it's either me or you. You know, I got to get you before you get me type of deal. I wasn't even out for your throat, but you kept coming for my throat. So in order for me to stop you, I got to put your ass down. You know, in order for me to stop me from dying, I got to kill your ass because you out to try to kill me, you know. Verse 13, for thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. And here's another reason why this motherfucker called Lucifer, you know, and the devil, the deceiver, the adversary, Satan, you know. For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh. Okay, so this motherfucker said, oh, look, we're going to go into outer space and shit, you know. And I'll also exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High, you know. This motherfucker got his International Space Station and all that stuff up in there, you know. And then also, not only that, the stars of the Most High is who? I'll make you the stars that, roughly paraphrasing, you know. I'll remember you like the stars of the heaven, more or less to say, you know. So the Most High is supposed to be our Father sitting over top of the children of Israel. But who said they were going to sit over top of the children of Israel? Was it the Chinese people? You know? Nah, it's these Edomites. These Edomites say, nah, look, we're going to control the northern and the southern kingdom. Nobody else going to have no possessions over it. I mean, now we are scattered in these other nations. But again, Esau has his whole planet up under his rulership. So, you know, he don't want to dictate and rule down to those folks, you know? Like in Saudi Arabia, you would think those are so-called Saudi Arabians, like Muslims over there ruling their shit the way they want to. But really, America's telling them how to rule their own shit, you know? And they just passing it down from their mouth because their people will listen to somebody more or less like their own people than somebody that's not like them. But nevertheless, it says, I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. And like I said, yeah, you sitting over top of the children of Israel. Where? Sides of the north. Where? North America. Okay, on this side over here. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yeah, you trying to, all the things he's doing, he want to be like the Most High. That damn RFID chip, the microchip. You know, he want to be able to see all things at all points of times. When anything is moving, he want to know your vital signs, like the Most High said. I know how many hairs is on your head, you know. Esau want to know every time your fucking heart is pumping, and at what speed, what rate, and so on and so forth. He want to know your thoughts, your minds, all kind of things like that, you know. Esau want to be like the Most High. It says, you know, and now is the Vatican pushing all of this? Is the Vatican pushing 5G technology? Is the Vatican pushing RFID chips on people? You know, no, it's America that's doing this. America is the first one to want to have 5G technology, okay, which is the backbone and infrastructure of this RFID chip working, all right, which is going to be like the cloud service for this Internet of Things once, you know, they chip every damn thing, you know. It says, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell to the sides of the pit. Yeah, and now it's not talking about you're going to be brought down to the middle of the earth into some constant burning and torment. I mean, they are going to be brought into the lake of fire, which is the lake of fire is America. It's going to be turned into a lake of fire. It's going to be a fucking sea of fire over here. That's what's going to happen to them. But that's not what it's talking about. That's not hell, first of all. Hell is a condition, all right? These people over here are all high and mighty. I'll give you one quick example. The Americans say, hey, look, we ain't never been touched over here, you know? This old virgin daughter, okay? This is why they call it the virgin daughter of Babylon. It ain't been touched, you know? But anyway, America ain't never been touched over here, you know? Everything all good. People so-called prosperous here, or used to be prosperous here, you know? Everything used to be all good and everything over here, right? Now all of a sudden you got high unemployment rates, high incarceration rates, you know? And you got, you know, everything is tipped in the damn scale, you know? Not only on that, you got all these other nations that's like having these big military drills and joining together, and they all threatening and aiming at taking down America, more or less to say, you know. And so the Americans in America is going to go from being up on top, you know, not having to think about nothing else, you know. It's just like white privilege. They have the privilege to not have to think about nobody else's situations, scenarios, you know what I'm saying, because they don't have to give a fuck about no shit like that, you know. They don't have to worry about the things that they say might hurt somebody else's feelings, you know what I'm saying. So they or might be racist or might be offensive to other people. They just say it without even thinking about it. Whereas Jake, you know, for example, we have to think about, you know what, you know, we might speak where we might be like, man, this nigga, that nigga, fuck them niggas, this and that, all around our own people. But when we get around Esau, we don't want to use words like that because it might offend him. You see, we have to think about that subconsciously, but he don't have to think about that type of stuff. So, in a day when those type of things change, he gonna have a rude awakening, more or less to say. It's gonna be real bad for his ass. You know, it's gonna be something he ain't gonna be able to stand because his whole life he's been brought up a certain way, you know. Or somebody who was born with a silver spoon in their mouth, never had to want for nothing, you know. Their whole entire life super rich, you know. And all of a sudden, one day they bankrupt and now they peddling for food, you know, digging out of the dumpsters, you know. That's pure hell unto them. But somebody who has always been homeless, you know, that's just a regular day for them, you know. It says, you shall be brought down to hell to the sides of the pit. Okay? Yeah, you ain't gonna no longer be that great nation untouched and everything all good and go happy. It's gonna be the worst fucking spot in the world. You know, you're starting to see this economy collapse, and, you know, with the unemployment, people is finding it harder and harder to find jobs here and stuff like that, you know. Yeah, we're going to read a couple more verses. It says, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake its kingdoms? Now let's go on back up real quick, because this is just to further bury this here Lucifer deal. So, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? For thou, who is thou, Lucifer, hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit upon the mount of the congregations of the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider, saying, is this the man? First of all, if we're talking about Lucifer, who is actually seeing the spiritual demon like that you would consider Lucifer? Who's actually seen that entity? Okay, and it's talking about basically the multitudes of people is going to see this. And then it says, is this the man? Okay, not a spirit. Is this the man? Okay. It's like when we go out, on highways and byways and things like that, or in your everyday life, you see somebody that's just pure wicked, like, man, you the fucking devil, But yeah, you got these tendencies and stuff like that, but yet still, or you have the spirit of the devil, more or less to say, put it in a better terms, and that's who Esau is. This is who it's talking about. It's talking about Esau, and not only that, it's talking about America here. It says, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble and did shake the kingdoms? So when people are going to start to realize, especially with these videos going out, especially like this video, people are going to watch this here, Lord willing, people watch this video and other videos like this and be edified, and then they're going to start, putting two and two together, and they're going to, just like the scripture says, they're going to see, they that see thee, after watching this video, you're going to take a second look at America, right? Well, wait a minute. Is this true? They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee. They're going to be like, damn, wait a minute. Then they're going to say this, is this the man that made the earth to tremble? Now, is it really America that's bombing the whole fucking planet? Like, you talk about wars and all this shit, people tired of war, but is it only really one country that's on the offense that's bombing every damn body else while everybody else is on the defense? The defense isn't the problem because they just trying to defend themselves. But it's the person that's on the offense that's always invading folk. And the person that's always invading other people is only America. Or only the so-called white man. These Edomites. Okay? Or freedom. The so-called freest country in the world. When they find out, like, wait a minute. The most oppressed people in the world is the Americans. Not only that, the most oppressive people in the world, the people that's putting the most oppression on other people, is the American. So how is it, what kind of blasphemy is this? The most oppressive person in the world is over here advertising freedom. You see what I'm saying? This the fucking devil, a great deceiver, Verse 17. Let me read the bottom of that again. It says, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake the kingdoms, that made the world a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of the prisoners? Okay, who did you see before your eyes actually doing this? Did you see the spiritual demon Satan doing this? Or did you see the so-called white man doing this? These Edomites in America doing this, okay? America is the one that's made the world a wilderness. Look at Syria right now. Syria is becoming a ruinous heap, like the scriptures say. By the hands of who? Did the spiritual demon Satan come from out of heaven and destroy Syria? Or was it the Americans doing that? Okay, look at Iraq. Did the spiritual demon Satan come out of heaven and destroy Iraq? No, it was America. That's who was talking about. And that was it. There, we're going to jump into this the next scripture real quick. The book of Daniel. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7. We'll start at verse 17. Alright, I'm going to start at Daniel 7 and 17. It says, these great beasts which are four kings, okay, which shall arise out of the earth. Now, getting back to talking about this beast, like, and this is actually a little different than the beast we were speaking about earlier, talking about NATO and all those things. But this is basically describing that whore again, that whore that rides upon that beast. But nevertheless, we're going to, get into it. It says, these great beasts which are four kings which shall arise out of the earth. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all others. Okay, so this fourth beast was different than all the other beasts, all right? But then again, it was also the same as all the other beasts, because it was different but the same. It had all these other kingdoms all put inside of this one, but it was also different than all these other ones, in different ways. It says, then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were iron, and his nails of brass, which devour, break in pieces, and stamp the residue with his feet. So basically, this here beast is just tearing everything up, you know? It's like with his teeth of iron, everything that is just devouring everything, you know? It's chewing it up and spitting it out and stomping it down, you know? And who's doing that? That's America. America is the one that's chewing up this whole planet Earth, you know? And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and the other which came up, and before him who 3 fell, even that horn had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. Okay? And again, like we was reading earlier about, you know, the great horn, the crown with the 10 heads and all that, so on and so forth, you know, that was more or less talking about these Edomites, and then the progression in these so-called kingdoms and stuff from basically the Grecian all the way up until now. You know, they went under the names of the Greeks, the Romans, the Europeans, you know, and then now the Americans, you know. So at the bottom it says, let me just read verse 20 again. And the 10 horns which that, and the 10 horns which, and the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up. Okay, so one more came up, before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. Yeah, so America is the one out here setting these policies and all this and that, taking the forefront and everything like that. But his look is more stout than his fellows. Yeah, they all Edomites, but this one Edomite here is way more, you know, he, all right, for an example, Michael Jordan and the Bulls. Yeah, they all basketball players, and yeah, they all on the Bulls team, but Michael Jordan is the one that's standing out over all the other ones, you know. And I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them. Okay, so again, this is talking about more or less in Babylon, you know. That's what's going on right here in Babylon right now, you know. It says until now, this will be happening until this point in time. So this wasn't talking about in Roman times, you know. It says, I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given unto the saints of the Most High, and the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. Okay, so basically this is talking about that this little small horn was basically going to be in power until Yahushua came back and basically took him out of, basically, you know, cast him into the lake of fire, you know. And so you don't see the Vatican still ruling up until this time right now, you know. Thus he said, the 4th beast shall be the 4th kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and it shall tread it down and break it into pieces. Okay? When did the Vatican come over to America and basically break into pieces the Americas? The Americas. Huh? The Vatican didn't come over here and basically destroy America, you know? But Iraq didn't do that either, you know. But America came around and slaughtered the whole fucking planet, you know. And they're still currently doing that till this day, you know. Like I said, since their birth or whatever, it's only been, I believe, 12 years that they hadn't been at war, you know. And it's not 12 consecutive years either, you know. They've had conflicts going on since the beginning time here. It says, and the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and shall think to change times, laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and the times, and a dividing of the times. So, you know, Babylon basically is wearing out the saints of the Most High, you know. And then also here, like what Obama did, changing times and the laws and stuff with this LGBTQ community type of deal going on and stuff like that. You see all these things is going on up until the time that Yahushua come back, you know. And you see all these things happening here in America, you know. If you're waiting on all these things to happen from the Vatican, you're going to be waiting a long time. And the planet will be been destroyed in nuclear destruction before that happens. You know, you still be waiting and you've been got nuked beforehand, you know. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume it and destroy it until the end. Okay? Yeah, well, I mean, I got one more verse anyway. Verse 27, and the kingdom and the dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominion shall serve and obey him. Okay? So basically, you know, you got the King of Kings right now, you know, who's sitting on top of all these other kingdoms, you know? Esau. He about to get taken down. It says, and the kingdoms and dominions and the greatness of the kingdoms under the whole heaven shall be given. Okay, so he's the King of Kings right now. He got all this shit, right? But it's going to be given into the people of the saints of the Most High. But see, like it says up in here, I think verse 7 or 12. No. Verse 18, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever and ever. Okay? And so, you know, basically that was just a time frame to let you know that this wasn't back in those times, because we are approaching the very end right now. And if you are waiting on a whole other kingdom to come up and all these prophecies to take place, man, you really lost in the sauce, you know? This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 5. Ye also, because he transgresseth by wine, okay? Transgresseth by wine. How you go off by giving everybody else your doctrines and stuff like that, you know? This homosexuality, you know, no more examples needed, you know? Fluoridating the water, shit like that, you know? He is a proud man, you know? And who's the most proud, you know? Esau. That proud is, you know, in the book of Obadiah, shit, I don't really have time to. Let me get it real quick. I don't want to mar it up. Verse 3. The pride of thy heart has deceived thee. Okay? Talking about being all extra proud, you know? It says, ye also, because he transgresses by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. First of all, you being proud, but neither keepeth at home. Okay? So, America's right here in America, but yet American military is all over the rest of the globe. And everybody else's business and everybody else's country trying to rule their country, and you don't even have a good rule over your own country, you know? Who enlarges his desire is hell, and is as death and cannot be satisfied. And okay, and is death and can't be satisfied. You done bombed the whole damn planet, and now you about to start back over because, hey man, you just like death and hell, you know? But gathers unto him all nations and heapeth to him all people. When did the Vatican do that? Or did America do that? Okay. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunted proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increases that which is not his? Okay. Man, you over here stealing everybody else's country. Like, whoa, destruction to you. You over here trying to steal these motherfuckers' countries and shit like that. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. And that thick clay is that damn debt, man. Look, I believe it's $20 trillion in debt that America has, and building daily. Like, yo, you can't pay that back. Woe to that man. You know, you already up to your neck in credit card debt, you know, and you still paying off credit cards with other credit cards, and you know, you steadily charging up your credit cards. Like, bruh, you already so far in debt, and you don't even make no money. You don't even have a job, and you just steadily charging. Like, you super fucked. Like, whoa, bro, you might want to let that shit go. This is, not Isaiah. We don't want Isaiah. We want Ezekiel 24. This is Ezekiel 24. Start at verse 2. And now we just read about how he gathered all people unto himself. This is Ezekiel 24 and 2. Son of man, write thee the name of the day. We start at verse 3. And utter a parable unto the rebellious house, and say unto them, thus saith Yahweh power, set on a pot, set it on, and also pour water in it. Gather the pieces thereof into it, even every good piece, the thigh, the shoulder, fill it with the choice bones. Take the choice of the flock and burn also the bones under it, and make it boil well, and let them see the bones of it therein. Wherefore thus saith Yahweh power, woe to the bloody city, to whose the pot. All right, let me stop there. First of all, the Most High gave this analogy first and foremost, you know. Take this here pot, put it on the stove, put some water in it, turn the pot on, you know. Basically boil some water. Then inside of that water, go ahead and put every good piece of meat in there, the shoulder, the thigh, and every choice bones. You know, just throw every damn thing up in the pot. Put it all in there together. Let it all cook up. Verse 6, wherefore thus saith Yahweh power, woe to the bloody city, to the pot whose scum is therein, to whom scum is not gone out of it. Bring it out piece by piece. Let no lot fall upon it. For her blood is in the midst of her. She shall set it on top of a rock. She poured it not upon the ground to cover it with dust, that they might cause fury to come up and take vengeance. I have set her blood upon the top of her rock, so it shall not be covered. All right. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh power, woe to the bloody city! I will even make the pile for a great fire. Heap on wood and kindle the fire. Consume the flesh and spice it well, and let the bones be burned. Okay. And yeah, I mean, we're about to run out of time here. So, but you can just keep on reading down through there. But you know, talking about he that gathers all these nations and heap them together. You know, the Most High talked about this here pot and putting everything in this pot. You know, ironically, America likes to tout itself on being this so-called melting pot. You know, where everybody come together and everybody can mix and mumbo over here. You know, everybody can mix all they stuff together over here. You know, all they ideologies, philosophies, religions, and all their doctrines together here. You know, being a big melting pot. And before this here video get cut off and we get a corrupted video file, we're gonna go ahead and end this here lesson here. Lord, this here lesson was edifying, and you know it's clear to see that America is clearly spoken about in the scriptures. You know, so with that we're gonna say, call halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, double honors to the apostles and the elders of great millstone and rule well. And salutations to you, occupant pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth. Shalom.